My name is Max Woodbury, and I've lived on this property for about 10 years now. When we first moved in, my wife and I, this was just a 1.5-story house. The second floor was just kind of one of those angled ceilings where you kind of have to duck down to get everywhere, and it was great. For the two of us, there's plenty of room. I'm in a wheelchair, I'm a quadriplegic, and everything that I needed at that point was on the main floor here. Then my wife got pregnant, and we actually, it's a funny story, we transferred one embryo to try to prevent a multiple pregnancy, but it split and we had identical twin boys named Noah and Levi, who are just turned 4. And when we realized all of a sudden that the house got small for us, instead of looking for a bigger house, we decided to make this house bigger. This house more than doubled its square footage in space. So we have, it went from like a 1,500 square foot house to over 3,000, close to 3,500 square feet. But we are spending less now on our electric bill than we were beforehand. So this is the inverter that all the electricity comes down into here, and it gets inverted. And you can see right over here is the meter that reads how much energy I'm getting on a sunny day. It's really pretty cool. It makes you feel good when you read the Sunny Boy and lets you know how much CO2 is not going out into the atmosphere, which is kind of cool. So, but the even better part on the financial aspect is looking over here and seeing the power that's being generated that I'm not having to use from other sources. So it's doing it right here on my own home. Years ago, actually, when we lived in this house, I thought about, ever since I was in school and realized that this was having a photovoltaic panels for electricity was something that I always wanted. I knew it was kind of an expensive investment, but realized that maybe someday I'd try to do that, even here in Oregon. But this house has beautiful, pretty mature trees that are 30 or 40 feet tall. And so I actually had someone come out and measure to see if it would be a possibility that we could have photovoltaic cells here, PV panels, and there was too much shade. When we started getting into this remodel of a 1923 bungalow, we realized we were going to have to go up. And when we did that, the bright light came back to me saying, if our roof is taller, maybe we'll have less shade. So I was really excited about the chance of being able to install a solar system. We had a great contractor who did a really good job and got us in touch with Imagine Energy, who was our contractor for this system. And initially we thought we were going to try to do this south-facing roof, but again, the problem was with these mature trees, we weren't going to get enough efficiency to put a system. I guess there's rules to get for those tax incentives from the state that you have to be a certain amount of efficiency to get those tax breaks or get. And so when he did his measurements up on the top, realized that the west-facing side of the roof was going to be the most efficient spot to install a system there. So Imagine Energy, during our remodel, so we weren't even living here, installed a 2.8 kilowatt system. We were trying to maximize the amount of space on our roof that could be used. We had talked about maybe even doing a little bit at the top of the south side. But as it turns out, with your tax incentives, you can only get so much back. So this was definitely an expensive investment, something that it took us a while to think about. I mean, the whole remodel was a huge investment, but it's something that we realized this is where our kids are going to be until they move out of high school. So we have 20 years that we're going to be here in this house. And it just made sense that if we're going to be here this long, an investment in a solar electric system just made sense.